Hi, I am TWeK Racing, here coming to you with Nations Cup Round 36 at Suzuka in the Group 3 cars. First we'll go on board for my qualifier. Didn't turn out to be too good. I was placed, I think, in split 3 or 4, so not that high a split. As you can see, I'm currently in 4th with a 201.2. Really, you should be targeting lap times in the low 2 minutes, or actually even sub 2 minutes if you're in top split. I chose the Porsche for this race. It seemed to be the better car for my testing in the race trim, but it was going to be pretty inferior to the Audi R8 for qualifying. Later on, as I watched the top split races, I actually found out that the best car for the track was the Nissan GTR. And I didn't even think about testing that one. So the GTR was probably a few tenths slower than the Audi, but it was so much better for racing because you had that top line speed. I'm very happy that nobody chose the GTR for my lobby. I did 3 practice races with qualifier open lobbies before this race. My best qualifying time was a 2 minutes point 3. So I knew I had at least 9 more tenths to scrape off this time. That'll put it in as a banker. And to qualify with a 201.2 in this split, it would be very far back and it would be very hard to overtake because you have to conserve your tires a bit as well. And if you overtake and battle, you really use up your tires quickly. So I'm actually behind on that sector time there. I really cut a lot of that corner. You can do that without getting a penalty. Gonna come through to hit a 2 minutes 9:15. For a short while giving me the pole. I knew I could go 3 tenths faster than the guy on pole, so basically I missed out on 6 tenths from my optimal lap. It still put me in 2nd, so that's a very good position for the race. I know I'm pretty good on tires, so. My primary goal was to get more than 2k points, so top 4 position would do that job for me. Started 2nd here. If I hadn't improved on my banker lap, I would have started 7th, so it wouldn't have been too bad, but it's very nice to start 2nd. I know there's only one guy I need to overtake, and hopefully I'm better than him on tires. So I'm just burning as much fuel as I can because you have a lot of excess fuel for this race. I just needed to get the car as light as possible to further help with the tire wear and help me have a better speed. Not all people know it, but in Gran Turismo there's actually cold tires. They don't have as much grip as warm tires, just like in real life. It's not that obvious to see. I come in here, way too much speed and slipstream, and I just completely mess up and bottle it in turn 1. All the way down to P4 now. Now I have a big mission ahead of me. I know the guy in who's in the Audi is most likely gonna spin out or get super slow towards the end because I'm not expecting him to be able like nearly to get to the end with that car. It really requires a lot of very, very good driving, and in all my practice races against Audis, they didn't stand a chance. They were going fast for the first 4-5 laps, and then the tires was just completely gone and they couldn't control the car. I know that Key actually did the race in the Audi and he did very well, but he was also really struggling on those tires towards the end. And he did a fantastic job of actually keeping his position and keeping it on track and stuff like that. right now I'm just trying to settle in my rhythm and try and eat off this gap towards the guy in third. Hopefully gonna battle up there. I'm already pulling out quite a big gap to the guy in fifth. That's pretty nice. Just a slight lift through here. Trying to minimize my steering inputs to keep the tires fresh. Porsche is very good on tires. As we see, number 3 get a penalty for cutting the corner, which is actually pretty hard to do in that chicane there. The first right-hander part you can cut and then you'll get a penalty, but the left-hand part you can cut it so much without getting a penalty. It's ridiculous. They really need to fix like the track limit right there. You can see that I have a better line than the guy in front through the S's here. So I put in a purple sector 1. Purple sector 1 doesn't mean anything really in this game in lap number 2, because it only compares to completed laps and the sectors that were posted of the fastest lap, like completed lap. And when you're on lap 2, the only completed lap is from a rolling start, so it will always be very slow. So lap 2 should always be a purple sector. After that, it will start to mean something actually. But before lap 3, it's basically meaningless. Fastest lap doesn't give you anything, apart from knowing that you have the pace to keep up and overtake people. But usually, a guy behind a fast guy in the slipstream will get the fastest lap, so. Here we go. He definitely lost a lot of time with that penalty, which gave me an easy pass and back up into third after my major mess up in turn 1. I actually did manage to keep it quite well from going off track and keep my composure. As we see, the Audi already starting to have a hard time keeping it on track. Go up the inside, leave him the room. I see that I'm past him, so I just take more of the road on the left. And now my irons is set on the guy in first. He's developed a big gap, 4 seconds. My plan now is just to keep at it, keep consistent fast laps, and really apply some pressure from far away. Because I know that almost everybody is looking at the gap, the live gap to the guy behind, so if they can see it just coming down like by a small margin, or they know they're pushing like all they can and they don't know if they can keep on pushing that fast, then if the gap just stays the same, really apply a lot of pressure on them, because if they just make one mistake, they know that the guy behind will catch up very quickly, and if he gets in the slipstream, then they might think it's actually even game over. So far this lap I've only caught up like 1.5 tenths, but that's still something. But at this rate I really need to catch up way quicker, because this is lap 3 of 8. These races are so short this season. It's basically like super sprint races. I really need to not have any mess ups like I did in turn 1. But hopefully we can do something about it anyway. As the gap is reduced by a tiny margin. It was 4 seconds at the beginning of the lap before. as I go all the way down into first gear. Not optimal. Definitely not. Really just want to stay in second gear throughout these S's. This Porsche is very, very nice with the gears because you have so long gears that you can choose to stay in the lower gear without it banging off the rev limiter very often, or you can be in the higher gear. A lot of cars you don't really have that much leeway, so you have to upshift and downshift through the S's, and it just loses you a little bit of time. And in the long run, all small gains really matter, because you only have to win by 1/1000th of a second. I'm pushing all I can here while staying safe, and the gap is just staying the same. I'm starting to think that he's maybe relaxing a bit, because with only 4.5 laps to go, I need to catch up like almost 1 second a lap. And 1 second a lap, that's massive at this level, especially in the same car and the same tires. It basically means that he could run 203s or 202s at least, 202.5, something like that, and I would not be able to catch him in time. I'm gonna post a 201.8 here. I'm still 3.7 seconds behind him, so he's really keeping the same pace as me. I know if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't feel that much pressure, because he has 1 second to give every single lap. That is just, that's a lot of tiny mistakes on every lap for this to go wrong for him. Now jumping 1 lap forward, the gap is down to 3.3 seconds. You can really start to see him, which gives me motivation. It's on lap 6, so 2.5 laps to go. I can see he's starting to feel the pressure because he's dropping off his pace. Like I said before, still at this point with 2.5 laps to go, he needs to drop at least 1 second a lap. And then I also have to overtake him, as we see him completely bottle it, like way worse than what I did. And there I go into the lead. Magnificent feeling. Now I just need to look behind, and what do we got behind? We have one guy 4.6 seconds behind us, and that is in fact him. Now I am in the lead. That's amazing. Even after that horrible first lap and a horrible turn 1, I'm in the lead, and I have a 5-second gap down to the second place. And his tires pretty much roast after that massive spin he had, probably followed by a slight damage as well. We rejoin on the final lap. My gap has increased from just under 5 seconds to just over 7 seconds as we go through the final chicane here. Don't cut too much on the way in, cut a lot on the second part, and you can also go very wide on the exit. Come across, just a tiny bit of fuel left, haven't saved at all. Go across and win my biggest win, like the most points I've ever gotten from a FIA event I got from this race here. And it was a great race for me. I know that the race was not that much on track action, but there was a lot of action in just maintaining and putting pressure on him, even though I was far away from him. And it was very nice to have like such good pace with him. Here we can see the final ceremony as I get all the points. A lot of you guys have probably gotten more points than this, but for me it was pretty big. 2,408 points. One of, if not the most points I've ever gotten. I haven't checked up on that. My 31st win on this account. But thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, then please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm gonna upload 1-2 videos a week from now on, so thanks for watching and goodbye.